Now that the Metaverse Champions event is almost over, I'm going to start making tier list videos. So this will be my first one, and this tier list video will be over the games in week 1 of Metaverse Champions, if you guys still remember that much. So first, I'm going to start with AJ, and then move on to Faye, and then Sparks, and then Ren. And I will go in alphabetical order, and you can skip ahead to games that you like if you want, but I suggest watching this entire video. With enough being said, let's get started. First, we have Cube Defense. This game is a tower defense game, and I remember it's pretty good. I mean, I first tried this game's event with my brother and some randoms. It wasn't that bad of a game, and I had a bit of fun playing it. And that's why I'm going to be putting this game into enjoyable. Now, Elimination Tower is our next game. This game was an Outlaster survivor type game, and if you know me, I really don't like these games. In my opinion, they take too long, but maybe you guys think otherwise, so I'm putting it in annoying for that reason. Next up, we have Emergency Response Liberty County, and oh boy, this game stirred up so much drama because it required you to pay in order to get it. So I ended up not getting it, so that's why I'm putting it in trash. Nothing more needs to be said about this game. And next up, we have Human Simulator. This was probably the first game that you guys did. It was the first game that I did. And of course, this game was really good, so I am putting it into the POG tier. It was pretty well made, and it felt like an adventure game, and it clearly looked high effort. Next, we have Mafia Tycoon. This game, it has a really bad rating, and for some reason, it's already week 4, and their game still has the event out, so I really don't get that. Plus, the game is quite slow paced, so I had to AFK autoclick for maybe 15 minutes just to get this. So I am putting this game in slow tier. It isn't bad enough to be an annoying, but it is pretty slow. So now we have Manhunt. This game is kind of like a classical murder game, except there is no sheriff, which means the rounds pretty much last the entire length, and it just feels kind of annoying because of that reason. So I'm putting this in annoying because it just took too long, I guess. And you pretty much had to survive entire rounds. It was kind of slow. Next, we have Miner's Haven. I personally played this game a bit, and the only problem I have with its event is that it's kind of a walking simulator. If you don't know what I mean, you have to walk quite a bit, and if you don't have an infuser or these items that you can step on and it'll give you like some sort of speed buff, then it's gonna take you ridiculously long. But good thing Fake had champion infuser, so it didn't take me that long. But I'm going to put this game in annoying because it was a walking simulator. Next up, we have Pinewood Computer Core. If you saw any of my recent vids, you would know that this game is pretty much the worst game. The player base really tries to prevent a meltdown from occurring, and you need a meltdown in order to get the badge. So it's kind of like people who want the event versus the players who are already playing this game and already know it. So I'm putting it in trash. Next, we have Polybattle. This game, I just felt it was kind of slow paced, and I'm pretty sure the badge didn't work when I first tried getting it. So it's gonna go in one of these lower categories. But I'm going to put it in slow as it's not necessarily annoying, but it is quite slow to get and painful. Then now we have SCP Roleplay. So this game reminds me of some of those zombie shooter games. There has been quite a bit in this event so far, but I personally enjoyed this one, but it took slightly long, but that doesn't matter. It's still going and enjoyable because I had fun playing it. Even though it took maybe 30 to 40 minutes, it was still pretty nice. Next, we have Tank Warfare. Now, this game has a pretty bad rating in terms of how much effort I think was put into it, but all you really had to do was shoot down a meteor and then collect what was inside it, so it wasn't pretty much awful. So I will be putting this game inside of average. It didn't take awfully long, but it still might have been a little bit frustrating if you couldn't find the meteor, so that's why I'm putting it in average. Next, we have TTD3. I have no idea what TTD3 stands for, but it is one of those dancing games, I guess. I don't know how they work personally, but what you had to do for the event is that you had to pick up 15 or more, I think was 15 shards around the map, and then you return them to AJ. It wasn't that hard, took me 10 minutes at most. So that's why I'm putting it in enjoyable. This game was pretty fun though. I kind of memed some of the dances, so I'm putting it in enjoyable. Now we're on to Faye Yoshida's games. First up, we have epic mini games. Everyone knows about this game, and personally, I think it's quite boring. The event was not the best either. You had to round up a pretty good amount of chickens, and the top 3 or so players would be awarded the badge. Luckily, I did this in a VIP server. It might have been free, I'm not sure. Me, Desmites, and Fake, all 3 of us got it, and we had alt accounts in the server. So I think it's top 3. But anyways, I'm putting it in annoying because it was kind of slow, and it can be annoying if you don't have enough accounts or friends to fill up a private server. Next, we have God Tycoon. This looks like one of those trash games that you would see in your Roblox recommended list, but its event wasn't too bad after all. What you had to do for the event was you had to defeat 10 mobs. I'm not sure how hard they were or what you needed for them, but I just used the weapons that were in the Tycoon to kill them, and it was quite easy. So that's why I'm putting this game in average. It wasn't necessarily fun, but it was doable. I could play it, you know. Next, we have Katana Simulator. This game, you had to get 25 kills. And for a melee game that is kind of, let's say, pay to win, it's kind of bad. And it took quite a bit of time. It could easily cause you to rage if you didn't have the right strategy to kill people. So that's why I'm putting this game in annoying. It wasn't that great. Next up, we have Kitty. Now, this is another piggy game. I did play this game before with one of my friends, and I mean, it's kind of like Piggy except kind of blocky, and the map for it was kind of long, so you pretty much had to do it in a private server. And good thing, I'm pretty sure the private servers were free, so that was good. I did it with Fake, and it was doable. It can take kind of long if you're not that good at these piggy type games, so I'm putting it in the slow tier. Next up, we have Marble Mania, and maybe some people would say this game would take a long time, but personally, I think it was pretty good. So I'm gonna put this in Pog tier. Let me explain it real quick. So this game, it's clearly high effort. There were no bugs in it as far as I know. It just felt pretty fun to play. It was adventure style, and maybe I'm biased towards adventure games, but I guess that's how it is. Now we have Melee Simulator. In this game, you had to pretty much grind a little bit, and then you unlock the desert area, which gives you access to Faye's portal, and then you had to kill a bit of Easter eggs, and then you have to fight Faye. In the boss fight, I would say it wasn't the best, because I got lucky, and mine started at low health, so that was pretty lucky for me. But anyways, otherwise, that I'm putting this game in annoying because you have to grind a bit, and I don't like it when developers force you to grind their game. It feels like they just want premium payouts. Next up, we have Pet Ranch Simulator. This game was like the first game that started using invite friends, so it kind of looked like it was a scam game. It's not that bad. The only problem I had was you had to get past 30 in Flappy Bird. Plus, you had to get over 100 in the Jetpack Joyride type game. So that's kind of difficult for some of you guys out there. It took a bit of time for me, so that's why I'm putting it in annoying. Now we have Portal Rush. This game was kind of simple. I mean, it could be low effort or maybe not, depending on how you see it. But anyways, the event was quite easy. I pretty much boosted through all of it, so that's why I'm putting it in enjoyable. It didn't take that long. Now we have Specter. This is a horror game, and personally, I don't play horror games, so I might be biased negatively against this game, but it was kind of confusing for me. I didn't really know where to go without a guide, but with the guide, it didn't take that long. So with that trade-off, I'm putting this game in average. At least it didn't force you to grind or anything. Now we have Survive the Killer. This game is kind of like Flee the Facility, except all you do is hide. And you have to pick up a key within the round. So because of that, obviously this game looks low effort, and it can take a while if the killer is sweaty and knows the game. So that's why I'm putting this in annoying. There's really not much you can do if you're not the killer. Now we have Toy Defenders. This game was a tower defense game. First thing when I joined the game, it just felt extremely laggy. I'm pretty sure it was because of the lighting and how many parts they had. But anyways, this game was pretty fun. What you had to do was defeat 20 waves. And I kind of like this. They allowed you to move towers for a cost. And that's kind of a unique thing that Tower Defense Simulator doesn't have. So I'm putting this game in enjoyable. Now we have Waterpark Oceanic. This was one of the first games that I played. It wasn't that bad, although it looked like some low effort game. It actually wasn't that terrible, so I'm putting in average. You have to ride like 10 water slides or something, and I cheesed a lot of them, and then you have to ride phase. That didn't take that long. So now we're done with Faye, we're moving on to Sparks now. And first up, we have Club Roblox. Now this seems like some of those roleplay games, but I'm not here to judge a game by what the game is, but rather by the event. So this game's event was pretty easy. There were arrows on the floor, it told you where to go, it was pretty self-explanatory, had some obbies, simple puzzles, pretty much it was really friendly. So that's why I'm putting it in POG tier. Now we have Creatures of Sonaria. I'm pretty sure this game has a high rating, but I didn't like this game's event personally. What you had to do was fly to 4 pillars, and these pillars were scattered somewhere around the map. Without a guide, I would have had no idea how to do this, so with the guide, it wasn't too bad, but I'm still putting this annoying because you have to fly for quite a long time, and you need a guide. Now we have Daycare 2. It's a story game, and you had to collect 5 pieces within the map. Now this didn't take me too long, so it's not that bad of course, but it definitely wasn't enjoyable. So that's why I'm having to put this game in average. It was easy, but you know, it's not enough. I didn't have a fun time necessarily playing it. Now we have God's Island. This game has a 69% rating. Nice. But anyways, this game's event was kind of bad. You have to play at least 3 rounds, I'm pretty sure. And much less, you had to survive until halfway through them and then collect these orbs that would fall halfway through the round. So of course this game wasn't that great. I'm putting it in annoying because it can get frustrating. Now we have Grandma's House Obby. Of course this game's like the best game ever, you know what I mean? No, I'm not gonna be based on how memey this game can get. I'm putting this game in enjoyable, even though it looks like some low effort game. Of course I'm biased towards Obby games, so that's one part of it, but it wasn't that hard, so I'm not judging it by the game, I'm judging it by the event, so that's why it goes in enjoyable. Now we have Innovation Arctic Base. I'm pretty sure this is a really old game, but I played it quite a while back. It's kind of confusing. For the event itself, if you know how to use signs and stuff, it's not that bad. So I'm putting this game in average. It didn't take awfully long, but it wasn't that fun to play it. Now we have Muscle Buster. This is like one of those simulators where you train your strength and then you sell that strength for something and then you buy better DNA or some weights or whatever you call it. So this game wasn't necessarily the best. It kind of took some time, except I discovered there was this one code that gave an OP thing. That was kind of a relief, but the thing is still this game was kind of slow. I'm putting in the slow category. Next up, we have My Droplets. This game is kind of like Adopt Me maybe. You take care of your droplet. You have to do 4 different tasks for the event, but for some reason 3 of them were already done for me, so all I had to do was play a mini game. It was quite easy. I would say this game is enjoyable. It didn't take a long time. It was quite simple. Now we have Seaboard City Roleplay. In this game, you have to dive into a lake and then find the orb. And it wasn't actually that bad. I just didn't know where to go, so it took quite a long time for me. I'm putting this game in enjoyable because it's quite easy, it's fast, and of course, I like easy and fast games for events. Now we have Simple Resort. I would put this game in enjoyable if it weren't for the amount of time that you had to take climbing up. Like I said, this game is one of those walking simulators. Walk for maybe 5 minutes at most. That's still not awfully bad, so I'm not gonna put it into slow, I'm putting it into average. But then of course at the end there's this button mash thing, and I enjoyed that button mash so much, and I hope you guys did too. Now we have Tiny's difficulty chart obby, and difficulty chart obbies, for real, come on. But this game, I would definitely put it in Pog tier if it weren't for what you had to do before the second part. So if you don't know, the second part was kind of like a Flood Escape 2 style map where you press buttons and then you can go on to the next area and keep doing the obby. But you have to complete 75 stages first, so I can't put it in Pog tier for that reason, so I'm putting it in enjoyable. Now we have Ultimate Driving 2. I'm pretty sure this game it can get kind of frustrating if you don't know where the guard you have to get is, or whatever it is. But luckily, I spotted one pretty fast, so I got it kind of fast, so this game has to go in slow for that reason. There's RNG to it, and I don't like RNG. Now we're on to Ren. First up, we have Hospital Life. The game icon of this game looked kind of creepy. This game wasn't that bad. I'm going to put it in average though because it wasn't really fun. All you had to do was some kind of work at a pizza place cashier job and do 10 customers, and that was it. It was kind of fast, so I can't put it in anything lower. Then we have Left 4 Survival. This game was definitely really annoying, so I'm putting it in trash. Let me explain. For this game, you have to win a specific round, and winning in this game is not the easiest. I got zombie 90% of the time, and you have to be a survivor, so that really just triggered me. Now we have Lumber Tycoon 2. This was a game user played a while back, maybe 2016. I didn't grind this game much, but I mean, the event was not the best either. You had to find a chest around the map. It was in a random spot, so I'm putting this in slow because it wasn't that high effort that you would expect from Defaultio, who is the developer. Now we have Ninja Legends 2. This is one of those sword simulator games, like I said. You just get the DNA upgrade and some sword, and you keep swinging it and you sell it, and then that's pretty much all you do. But the thing is, you have to reach the third area, which means you have to do 2 sets of obby, and you have to grind for that. So this game took me 30 minutes to get, so I'm putting it annoying for that reason. Also, the obby can trigger you because maybe you don't know where to go, and if you fall off, good luck. Now we have Ninja Rush. This feels like one of those mobile games, maybe Minecraft Dungeons. But anyways, if you guys know, all you do is run down a path, use these abilities, and then you gotta reach level 10. So by level, I don't mean like XP level, but the dungeon level. So I'm putting it enjoyable. It didn't take that long. Maybe 7 minutes to 8, I don't know, but yeah. Now we have Outlaster, and I don't like Outlaster games like I said. So what you had to do for this, you had to pick up, I believe, 3 of these tokens, and then you have to make it to the final round. So I'm putting this in annoying. You have to survive until the end, which means you have to kind of know the game. I don't know the game. I just got lucky, I guess. I also had my friend Desmise kind of rigging the vote, so I wouldn't get voted out. You had to spend a long time, so that's why it's going in annoying. Now we have Roville. You have to reach 5 spots around the map and then collect orbs, I think. And then you go to this one mine place, and that brings you to the second area. If you had good navigation skills, the first part is a joke. It's quite easy. You don't really have to try. But the second part is what really made me kind of angry at this game. I'm putting it annoying, just saying. You had to find 7 orbs located around the map. Also, the map had a ton of invisible walls, and if you know me, I hate invisible walls because I'm a Flood Escape 2 player. But enough being said, I couldn't find the last one, and then it was just in this tiny, I guess kind of like a cave, but not really. And then once I got that, it was kind of dumb, but it was over. But that part just took way too long than necessary. Now I have speed race, and I'll tell you this. What happened when I got this? I joined the game, I complete it, boom. I read the map first try, just saying. Well, I'm putting this in slow, even though it's an obby game, because maybe you have to wait for the right map, but luckily for me, it was the first one, and I'm pretty sure it's guaranteed, so it can't go in annoying. This game also isn't really nice with lives, so if you don't complete the map on your first or second try, you have to wait for it again, and yeah, that's kind of bad. Now I have Tsunami Simulator. What can I say about this game? I would really honestly put this in annoying, except it's not like the worst, but it's still kind of bad. You have to find a chest hidden around a map. Luckily it's on most maps and it's on some random location. So if other people find it, they'll just say it in chat and you can just look for them. And then you have to survive the tsunami. So it isn't awfully bad, but it is still kind of annoying. Now we have Vesteria. I've played this game before. It's an MMORPG, which is kind of like one of those grinding games. I'm putting this game in average. All I had to do was talk to Ren Spirit in Mushtown, and then go to Mushroom Forest, and then talk to him, and then it was it. I'd expect more, but like, whatever, I'll take it. Also, good job to the Vesteria developers, whoever modeled the Ren NPC, because it definitely looks better than the Arthro from Roblox. Now, we have Warships. Desmice has played this game. He told me, yeah, it's kind of good, but personally, I'm not a big fan of these games, so I'm putting this game in slow. It's definitely not annoying. What you have to do is get 3 kills, and 3 is quite a small number, so yeah, it can't go any lower than that. Obviously, people who've played this game for longer than you probably have some OP ships, and they can destroy you easily. Now we have Werewolf Within. This is the Among Us game. Yeah, where do I put this? Obviously, it's Pog tier, you know what I mean? No, I'm putting it enjoyable. You have to get a shard from 2 rounds, so you need 2 shards. You get 1 from each round. It's in some random location, and then you can just leave the server. So yeah, it didn't take that long, and this is our final game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first tier list. If you guys did, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification icon so you don't miss the other 3 tier lists. Also, comment down below of what games you think should be moved so I can see your opinions on these.